What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now today we'll be going over a company that has been absolutely blowing up recently, having a trading day of growing over 31%. This company has absolutely sent shockwaves through the investing and YouTube community. Now, of course, as you can tell by the title, this company is going to be Senseonics, ticker symbol SENS. Now, a lot of you guys have recommended this one to me. I've gotten so many messages through my Patreon, so many messages through Instagram, the comment section. It's been absolutely blowing up. So I was like, okay, the people want to see it. You know what my job is. When you want to see it, I will deliver it. So I've been, doing my research, trying to figure this whole company out. I really do believe that this company actually has a lot of potential. And so I couldn't help but bring that to you guys and really show you what the company is all about. Now, if you do want access to a Discord chat with over 80 plus people now who, investors and traders and day traders, swing traders, crypto guys, Forex guys, and just a whole community of investors who are simply trying to make each other better by bouncing ideas of each other, talking about different stocks, different companies. If you want access to me to be able to talk to me personally one-on-one, to talk to some of the people in my investing team, if you want access to my content early and all of the subjects and research and due diligence I do on these companies before I even post these videos, definitely consider checking out the link to my Patreon down below. The community is growing at insane rates, so I welcome everyone. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a look at what is going on with Senseonics, ticker symbol SENS. Now, Senseonics is a holdings company that's main focus is going to be their primary subsidiary, Eversense. What is Eversense? Well, Eversense is the world's only long-term CGM system. Now, if you're not sure what CGM is, that is continuous glucose monitoring. It says here that continuous glucose monitoring automatically tracks blood glucose levels, also called blood sugar, throughout the day and night. You can see your glucose level anytime at a glance. You can also review how your glucose changes over a few hours or days to see trends. Now, seeing glucose levels in real time can help you make more informed decisions throughout the day about how to balance your food, physical activity, and medicines. Now, of course, we do see this very, very common in people with diabetes. I have multiple people in my family and in my immediate circle with diabetes who actually use these different devices that monitor their glucose, and it is very, very important to their overall health. Now, back to Eversense. Well, it says here that with the Eversense 90-day CGM system, you can actively manage your diabetes simply and with confidence. Eversense provides continuous glucose blood monitoring for up to 90 days via an underskin sensor, a removable and rechargeable smart transmitter, and a convenient app for real-time diabetes monitoring and management. Well, these are the three main pieces of the puzzle. The first one, of course, is going to be the sensor that is professionally placed by your healthcare provider. This remains accurate even when compressed or while you exercise. And it also rests comfortably just underneath the skin. Now, to connect to the sensor, there is the transmitter. This is a removable, rechargeable, and water-resistant device. It sends data every 5 minutes to your mobile device and provides on-body alerts even when your mobile device is not nearby. Now, I will say personally that is very, very cool. I know a few people with diabetes, including some people in my family, and the fact that there is something that even if your phone is not nearby, it'll send on-body alerts is something I have not seen before, and I do think that's very convenient because the people who do have diabetes, who may lose their phone or may not have their phone with them, they do get a little bit stressed out not knowing exactly what is going on, and so especially with a lot of these high-tech sensors nowadays, it is important to have that on-body alert in a case of maybe even an emergency where you lose your smartphone. Now, of course, the last piece is going to be the mobile app in which you will download on your smartphone, tablet, etc. Now, this will receive real-time glucose measurements on your mobile phone or smartwatch. There's no need for a separate receiver, which is actually very, very cool. It says that it tracks events like meals and workouts and sees them right on your graph to help identify trends. Now, you can also share your data with friends, family, and health team up to 5 people. Now, the good thing about this one here is that it's cool that it tracks certain events like food and all of that and working out without you having to do it yourself. Now, I know a lot of people who do have diabetes, they just don't feel like having to go and plan out and map out every single thing they do every day. So the fact that it will map it out and it can allow you to see trends will really allow a person with diabetes to get a hold on what they have going on and start to understand, okay, I can eat this at this time, I shouldn't eat at this time, and figure out what is the best way to maximize their health. I really do like that aspect of their app. So now that we have a pretty good understanding of what exactly is going on and what the process is, what are some of the benefits that are associated with using their Eversense CGM monitor? Now, as we do see here, it says that there is no other CGM system that gives you this much wear time. Now, it says that wearing a CGM sensor 80% of the time or more has been clinically shown to improve control in diabetes. Well, their CGM device does operate, allows you to be worn 92% of the time, which is about 23 hours per day. Now, the accuracy of their device is also very, very important. It says that in clinical trials, Eversense was shown to help patients keep their blood sugar levels more than stable and to reduce A1C levels by 0.5% on average. Now, another statistic about this fantastic device is that within 15 minutes, Eversense accurately detects 96% of hypoglycemic events and 98% of hyperglycemic events. Now, the fact that this happens within 15 minutes is actually very, very insane, because these events are sometimes hard to see, but they can be very detrimental to one's health. And so whenever it's something that's hard to, discover that fast with your typical sensor, but it's also detrimental to a person's health, that is not a good equation, and that does not typically lead to a good result. Well, next up, we do have that there are only 4 sensor changes per year, which, dude, I know people with diabetes who use this product absolutely love that. I know the people in my family and the people I know who have diabetes and they have to change out all of their different sensors is really, really annoying, especially if they have to make a trip to a doctor or if it's something that they can do themselves. It's just very, very annoying and very inconvenient, and it does get very old very fast. Well, with this one, it says that Eversense reduces the number of unpredictable day 1 glucose measurements from 26 to 52 episodes to 4. Now, this also allows you to say goodbye to frequent and painful self-insertions, which, like I said, people hate those. Another cool statistic about this product is that it has a unique on-body vibratory alerts. It says that Eversense is the only CGM with on-body vibrations that alert you to potentially dangerous swings in blood sugar. Like we talked about earlier, the fact that you don't need your phone to know exactly what's going on is very important, because there are emergencies. There are times of chaos where people may lose their phone, and in that situation, a person with diabetes could be in serious risk. Now, last but not least, we are going to go over this one, saying that having the Eversense sensor placed is straightforward and safe. 92% of patients reported no pain or discomfort with the sensor placement. Now, I will say with the majority of people that I know who have to deal with this process, almost all of them complain about how uncomfortable it is to have to do this self-injection or have to go through, this painful self-insertions, as they did mention here. Now, there are a few more statistics if you do want to check them out on the website, but you guys do know, like, I like to get to all of the different points without taking up too much of your time. But one of them that I will say is very, very exciting is the fact that 86% of people reported that there was less day-to-day burden, as a lot of this sensor, process and having to do this painful self-insertions and all these different things, they do get very inconvenient and can overall take away from a person with diabetes' quality of life. Well, what is the future potential of this overall product, and how large is the consumer base in which that this company can, sell and market to? Well, it says here that the prevalence of diabetes is steadily on the rise, such that more than 1 in every 10 individuals, or 12.2% of the U.S. population age 18 years or older, is affected. That's absolutely insane. 12.2%. That means, like I said here, 1 in every 10 adults is going to experience something that, associated with diabetes. Now, it says that patients with diabetes have a 3-fold greater chance of hospitalization compared to those without diabetes. Now, the annual incidence of diabetes as in any listed diagnosis has more than doubled during the past 2 decades to a total of 7.2 million hospital discharges, accounting for a total of 43.1 million hospital days among U.S. adults affected. So as you can see here, this does generally affect a very large piece of the population, and that is not only for the US. For the overall world, I'm sure that number may even increase a tad bit, considering that the health and the overall living in some other places may not be as good. Now, with that being said, knowing what it is now, what is it like going into the future? Because even if they can capitalize on that present market, is this a growing industry, and is this something in which they can capitalize on the growth? Well, as we see here, that it says that the projections of the number of people with diabetes based on the most likely scenario are shown in Table 3. It says that the total number of people with diabetes will rise from 11 million in 2000 to almost 20 million in 2025. But that's not even the big increase. By 2050, this is projected at over 29 million people, a 165% increase over the 2000 level. So as we can see here, there is a very large amount of the population that is affected by what this company helps bring a solution to. Now, you guys do know that I absolutely love and I adore companies that are overall trying to provide a better quality of life for those who are already struggling and already going through something. something. Diabetes is not an easy thing to overcome. There are certain aspects of life that it's just going to take away from. It takes away from your overall quality of life in the sense that it gives you stress, and there's certain things that you have to do every single day. There's painful self-insertions. There's all these little bitty things in life that tend to add up that can make a person with diabetes life in general like taken away from. And so whenever there's a company like this one that's going out trying to provide a solution and trying to better those lives, I absolutely love them, and I think that's fantastic. So kudos to the company and kudos to the management team and the people who came up with this, because those are the type of people who change the world. Now, there is another aspect of the consumer base that I did want to touch upon, and that is diabetes and the good old pandemic. Well, as we have seen recently, that about 25% of people who went through the hospital with severe pandemic virus, I'm not going to say the name of it because the ad checks take 3 hours. Anyway, with severe virus infections have had diabetes. Those with diabetes were more likely to have serious complications and to pass away from the virus. Now, one reason is that high blood sugar weakens the immune system and makes it less able to fight off infections. So as we can see here, that there is a lot more potential that what we're undergoing right now could lead to even more risk to the people with diabetes. So again, that is another, range of consumers which this might not necessarily help them fight the virus, but this can overall improve their quality of life, improve their health, and maintain their health. So whenever they're not dealing with too high of blood pressure, or whenever they're not trying to deal with anything like high blood sugar, which could weaken the immune system, which could cause the effects of the virus to be worse. What they're doing is trying to make a person's health as stable as possible. So even in a situation in which they may contract the virus, they may be able to fight it off even better. So with this amazing product and with all of this amazing growth potential and the overall value and moral of the product itself being so phenomenal, well, who is running this ship? So as we can see here, that the president and CEO of this company is going to be Tim Goodnow. Tim joined the Senseonics board of directors in 2010 and in March 2011 was named president and CEO. He has been an instrument in commercializing the first 90-day Eversense CGM system in Europe and now in the 180-day product Eversense XL, which is now distributed in more than 15 countries. He also successfully launched Eversense in the US only 40 days after FDA approval. Now that is not easy to do, because even after approval, there are still a few different steps and there are a few aspects of the process that can be time consuming. So this man clearly has an agenda that he is trying to push. Well, next up, it says that Tim continues to drive innovation, product development, and new technology for future CGM systems. Prior to Senseonics, Tim was Vice President of Technical Operations at Abbott Diabetes Care. That's phenomenal. Abbott is no small company. And he also held executive positions at Eversense, Varix Biomedical, Dade Behring, and Baxter Healthcare. So this man is definitely not new to the game. He has a lot of experience in a lot of different companies that are somewhat similar to this one. And so I am interested, and I do believe that he has the knowledge and the past experience to carry this thing in the right direction throughout the future. So with all this being said, okay, cool. We got a good product. We have a good product focus. We have a growing industry they're focusing on. We have a great consumer base. We have seemingly a great, manager and CEO and president. Where's the issue? Well, I'll tell you the issue. The financials are not looking that good. I must say, before we even get into them, I will say they are not looking that good, but I do believe that there is room for growth. So as we can see here, of course, we have all of our numbers and they are going to be in thousands except share and per share data. So just with that being said, I'm going to just make it easy on myself and just go by the numbers that we see here, but just know they are in thousands. Well, so as we can see here, from December 31st, 2019 to September 30th of 2020, they have lost a substantial amount of assets. The majority of the loss came from their cash and cash equivalents, which was somewhat expected as this company was still trying to operate while under a very serious pandemic. Now, with that being said, it was still a very substantial decrease. Going all the way from 127,000 in total current assets down to 35, it was definitely not a good year for them. It does appear that they may be having a bit of a comeback coming towards 2021 here, but we will have to very closely monitor what is going on with their overall cash and cash equivalents. It was announced recently that there was a direct offering, so obviously they are still trying to raise cash and continue their operations, maybe put it towards some R&D or some M&A. And keep their operations going without losing too much money. Now, being that their total assets are sitting at about 44,000 compared to 132,000, we can see a loss of about 90 $90,000 right there, which is a very hefty loss over a single year. Now, that in comparison to their overall liabilities does not look too good. Well, in 2019, they were getting very close to being, in the green whenever it comes to assets versus liabilities. But over this last year, that has dropped substantially, creating a very large gap of about 50,000 roughly. So, with that being said, it does seem like they had a very rough year financially. I think it is a bit expected whenever there's a company like this one. But with that being said, honestly, that is, in a sense, a bit of a red flag, considering we have seen companies who have prevailed throughout this pandemic, and we have seen companies who have somehow managed to make it work and grow through, during times like these. So I would say personally that does show me that they do have signs of weakness, especially in their balance sheets, that need to be addressed very, very soon in order to continue production in this weird and very unpredictable world that we live in now. And last but not least, we will go ahead and we will take a quick look at the stock price. I believe that a lot of the things that we looked at just now were a lot of goods. I think their product, again, and their product focus and all of those things were great, but they really do need to work on their financials. I would like to see them start to take even more steps to balance that out and work on getting that, that asset versus liability gap to close up a significant amount before I could very confidently say that this company is a very strong buy. Well, as we can see here, that on the last trading day being January 15th, they had a phenomenal day. Now, after hours, they did go up even more, about 5%. So we did see them have an overall growth of somewhere around 37% in a single trading day. Now, in comparison to what we have seen over the last month, that was pretty dang on substantial. We did see a pretty solid gain here. Looks like over 100%. Yeah, about 111%. And then, of course, we did see recently this gain of roughly 107% before coming to somewhat of a decline from that peak. Overall, I would say that this stock does look very interesting. It seems like there's not too much negative momentum going downward over this last about 3 to 4 months. It seems like it's somewhat troughed out around this area. Started to trade very sideways, going up, going down, not really making any, super bullish or super bearish moves. But as it has hit the market recently, as we did get all of the news about the offering, and as it has started to take the limelight, it is pretty apparent that this company is trying to make its return back up to the top. And I think based off of these charts that I could see it doing so. It seems like it's gotten very, very close to switching up this pattern, which now that I see it, it actually has. Seeing that the most recent highs were going to be at about $1.40, we can see that it did break past that resistance and is pushing up into the $1.60 range. So maybe it's possible that we'll start to see this thing set higher highs and higher lows. That would be quite interesting to see, as it has been setting lower highs and lower lows pretty much for the last year, roughly. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this company. I personally don't believe that I will be buying them. I usually don't buy companies like, like this one that has a few things that needed, really need to be worked out financially. And I'm not updated and I'm not informed of what they are doing financially, because there are some companies whose financials aren't the best, but they are making the right steps. With this one, I'm not too sure what exactly they're doing. And with that being said, plus the fact that they've already gained 30% over the course of the last day, I more than likely will not be starting a position into this company. If that does change, the first place to find out about it would be in my Patreon. But other than that, I more than likely, again, would not be making an investment into this one. Just personally, it's not for me. Let me know what you guys think about this company down in the comment section below. If you are buying it, let me know what your basis is. What do you think about the financials? Are they making the right moves to get their financials right? Definitely let me know all of that down in the comment section below. You might make me learn something new and I might change my mind. With that being said, I'll be posting 2 to 3 times every single day, so I'll be seeing you all soon. Peace.